This one shit will allow you to access $200,000 fast for your business. Stay tuned to the end of this video because if you actually make this one shift, you're gonna start getting business funding approvals predictably and repeatedly for your business. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, if you don't know me already, my name is Daniel Dixon Jr. and I help agency owners and service providers access working capital so that you can finally scale your business with confidence. And if you have been watching me, I definitely do appreciate the support. Now in this video, we're going to be talking about this one shift that's going to allow you to access $200,000 in funding. You're an agency owner or a service provider right now, you're doing great in the business, but you're stuck with using your personal credit cards, or you are getting access to business funding, but it's those baby 2K, 5, 10K limits, or now you have all these credit cards shattered out. You want high limit approvals with the minimum amount of banks. I'm gonna be showing you exactly the shift that you need to make so you can actually start experiencing that without all these products or these credit cards from various different banks. Watch the entire video. Now, if you guys haven't already, go and click the subscribe button, go and hit the like button too, because I definitely do appreciate the support, and so that you get notified whenever I'm dropping these gems. It's all scale. With that being said, let's get straight to it. Also, don't mind the setup. Yes, I'm currently in my room. Yes, I have ordered some new content gear, so a lot of this is gonna be coming here soon, but let's get straight to it, definitely on my phone. So now, the one shift that you need to make to access 250K in funding, and I'm gonna put this right here too, is by understanding that looking good on paper is not equivalent to being an asset to the bank. So you're an agency owner, you're a service provider, you're doing great. Okay, you're doing great in the business, you're making well enough profit in the business, but like I said before, you're just using personal credit, or you do have business funding. Either it's, you got a bunch of credit cards, you work with, a different funding company, or you try going online and now you're stuck with this high predatory loan that's crazy interest rate. You're wanting to get traditional funding with the best rates, 0% or low interest with the best terms. And what you were told to do, and you followed it, was by having a 750 plus credit score. Okay, these things, okay, you're gonna look great on paper if you have a 750 plus credit score. That looks excellent on paper. You also look great if you have low utilization. Okay, having your credit cards between 10 to 20%, that is the ideal sweet spot, because you're gonna show that you're responsible with the credit that you're using. Banks definitely look at this as like the second most important thing when it comes to your credit profile. Now, the third one that you were told and what you're doing is you want to have less than 3 hard inquiries for bureau. So after every round that you're applying for, or before you applied, you remove your hard inquiries. And also too, I'm gonna say this in the video, I actually have a free guide for you to learn how to remove all your hard inquiries. So go ahead and click the description below. I'm gonna show you how to remove hard inquiries fast in the 24 hours while you're going through your funding sequence. And lastly, you probably set up your LLC, which was in the consulting business. So now your next field is consulting. All this stuff looks great on paper. When you walk into a bank and you show this, you definitely look great on paper. So you passed one part of the test. The reason why you're not passing the next part of the test is because even though you look great on paper, this is not equivalent to being an asset to the banks. And this belief that you keep having is the reason why you're stuck at the 2K, 5K, and even sometimes 10K limit approvals. 10K limits, that's fine depending on how much capital that you're needing, but we're talking about getting 150, 200, 250K, $1,000 in business funding. You have a project the next quarter. You want to hire more people on the team. You're looking to expand and scale with ads. 2K, 5K, 10K limit approvals, that's not going to do too much for the business. It's literally not going to do anything. And because you're having that belief, that's why you're going to be stuck with those 2K, 5K, 10K limit approvals. It's because you don't look like an asset. Even though you look great on paper, you don't look like an asset. So what do I mean by this? So how could I relate to this? So we can just talk about humans for a second. Let's talk about man and woman. So if you're a female and you look at a guy, you notice that, okay, he has good hygiene, he looks really good, he makes money, he does all these things, he's charismatic at the beginning, you end up liking him. Turns out you find out that he's lazy, he talks back, he's rude to you, he doesn't do what he said he's gonna do. He looked really great on paper, but when you actually got to know him, you sat down, right? You found out that this person is disgusting. Okay, he's really not doing what he's saying to do. Same thing as a woman, right? If you're a guy, you're looking for, you're getting to know a female. She may look great on paper, like she may have a pretty face, the curves are there, she has a body. Then you find out that she has an attitude, she has too much issues from the past that she's bringing into the next relationship. She doesn't know how to use the soft voice, like all these different things matter. And when you're applying and underwriting is looking at your file, what they're actually looking for, which is the asset I'm talking about, is the financial history. That is the exact asset that banks and lenders are looking at. So what do I mean about the financial history? Let's talk about what it says. When banks look at your financial history, the asset, and the reason why I'm going to explain to you why it's an asset, the type of credit counts, the limits, and the age of your entire credit profile. The reason why this makes you look like an asset that the banks want to lend to is because if you have only just 1 or 2 accounts in your credit profile, that's not credible enough. How can they know that, okay, we're going to give you more funding if you've only dealt with 1 or 2 accounts in the past? Especially the types of credit limits. So if you only have $1 or $2 or $3,000 credit limits with, you only have 2 credit accounts. Okay, that's not showing the banks enough data for them to feel comfortable lending to you. And then as far as the age, if you only have 6 or 8 months of built up credit, okay, that's the reason why they're not lending to you. Let's say you just got your credit fixed or something, you're in the rebuilding phase, like you've never used credit before, now you just finally got the credit. That is the exact reason why you're getting these loan approvals, because your profile is not built out yet. Which leads me to my next thing. When it comes to the application, right, you're an agency owner, you're a service provider, whatever industry that you're in, your application is not congruent to the income, to the financial obligations, and the industry that you're in. So what the banks are asking whenever they're taking a look at your industry is how much revenue is this business making, or the average that this business makes. That is one key question. If you're just putting random numbers, right, you're just putting random numbers as far as like the revenue, your personal income, the employees, all these numbers, if it's not strategic to what's average or near your industry. And another thing too is business A could live in this state, business B could live in this state, even though they're in the same industry. But if it's in this state, it's going to look different depending on the season and depending on how well that business does in that area. If those are not congruent to what you actually do, that is another reason why you're getting stuck with 2K, 5K, or even sometimes 10K lending approvals. Your application is not congruent to your industry. Okay, it's just got to make sense. And that's going to lead me to the last thing. You want to start seeing these 100 to 250K approvals for your business. What banks are looking for is deposits. So if you're profiting the business, right, that's great. But the thing is like banks want to see more deposits. And the reason why is because the more that you deposit into your bank account, you gotta understand, banks use your money inside your bank account to lend out to other people with interest on top of that. So the more deposits, with your average daily balance being high and your monthly and your starting balance being high, the more that you keep in the bank, the more liquidity, the more deposits that you're giving to the bank, the more money that the bank is going to make, because now they're going to use that money to lend out to other people with interest. So if the bank that you're banking with sees that, hey, this person is giving us deposits, they're keeping a lot of liquidity in the account, and they're showing that they're keeping a large amount, like they have good cash flow coming in, we're going to be more likely willing to lend out to them because they're doing us a favor. Now we're going to do them a favor. Okay, that is exactly what underwriting is looking at. Which leads me to the last thing, that if you're not an asset to the bank, you're going to be stuck with baby limits forever. So these key things, this shift is what actually allows you to get access to 100, 150K to 250K in funding for your business. And I know as an agency owner, I know as a service provider, because I am one of the product of the products. Okay, I funded myself over 6 figures. I know what it's like getting access to that funding finally after making these changes, and now you can finally scale your ads. If you have a project in the next quarter, or if you have some systems that you want to, invest into to make the team better so that you can impact more people, I understand these things. This is the exact shift that you need to make. If you guys like this video, if you guys align with these beliefs, I want you to click the like button. I want you to click the subscribe button too, so you get notified whenever I post, and you get notified when I'm dropping these gems for y'all. And lastly, if you would like to have me and my team take a look at your file to see exactly what is wrong with your profile, what's exactly keep you stuck with 2, 5, or even 10K limit approvals, so that you can finally get access to the high limit approvals to scale and take your business to the next level confidently, I want you to click the link below, fill out the application. Someone on my team will reach out to you. We'll take a look at everything, see exactly what's going on, and then we'll make a game plan so we can strategically get you access to the funding so that you can finally scale and get to the next level. And with that being said, I appreciate y'all for staying until the end of the video. Y'all have a blessed one.